So, how many times are you on your favorite social media platform and you're scrolling, and then all of a sudden something pops up in your timeline and it's not one of the people that you're following, but it's something that piques your interest because it is an ad, whether it is directly from a company or if it's an influencer who is talking about a product or service that your algorithm has told them you're interested in. So that is what we call social media advertising. Let's talk about it. You're listening to Marketing Adventure, the hub for business, fashion, marketing, and other CTE educators who integrate marketing into the learning experience. I'm your host, Jackie Walker. Each week, I'll cover marketing education concepts, strategies, tips, trends, frameworks, and other information to equip you to connect your classroom to digital natives while cultivating an engaged learning environment. So come on into the room where your favorite beverage, snacks, and even your cell phone are all welcome. Now, by now, we all should know what social media is, but just for those who need a definition, let's break down social media advertising. So you have two components. You have social media and then you have advertising. Well, we've been talking about advertising over the last 6 weeks. So we all know that advertising is anything that promotes a business or service or a brand and brings attention to it. So the ultimate goal is to sell, increase revenue, or whatever the end goal for that brand or company is. So now we're introducing the eighth form of media used in advertising, and that is social media. So what is social media? Well, social media has been around way longer than you may think. Social media is the form of mass communication on the internet and through technology. So it's how users share ideas, information, and other forms of content. Now, we're going to get to social media in our current times, but social media started, if you can believe it, as emails and chat groups. So long before we had all of this internet sensational things, we simply had email. We simply had chat groups, and they weren't connected to any form of the current type of social media that we have now. They were like IM, instant messages that were sent through our company's network or things of that nature. And then it expanded when we developed the World Wide Web. Wow. So when that came out, that really expanded the opportunity for communication, where people can go from one website to another website. So they were able to expand the ways in which communication was done. And then, since the World Wide Web was developed, technology started really growing from that point. And then there became things like social groups, networks. From what I understand, Classmates was the first social network, and that was created to connect alumni with their high school classmates. And to this day, I still receive emails about Classmates. And then became what we now know as social media, and that is your Facebook, your Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all of those things, Twitter, X, All of those things now are the main forms of social media. So social media has evolved from like the 70s, 1970s through the 2000s until now, today, 2024. Now that we know what social media is, let's talk about what it actually does. What does social media do for us in the form of advertising? So, one of the things that it does is it gives us fast and immediate access to our target audience. With the way that the algorithms are set up, which they're changing all of the time, you may say, what is an algorithm? Well, it's some formula that is created by the different platforms to determine what people are looking at and what they're liking, what they're commenting on. That shows that computes to what their interests are. And so when people start viewing, clicking, commenting on certain things, then that formula starts showing them content from various posts or sites or accounts or even ads that equate to what their interests, their seemingly interests are. Okay, so be warned, don't click on any weird videos or watch any post or look at a post or anything like that unless you want to start receiving that in your feed, in your timeline. So it gives basically the user access or the brand or the company access to people who indicate that they may be interested in that type of product, service, brand, post, or what have you. So then it also helps to build brand awareness. So you'll see these accounts where they may have a certain product that they put out there. They can talk about their brands. They can talk about their service. They can show how it to use the product or how to go about using the services. So it gives an opportunity for the content creator to put out information to the audience that now is viewing their account for free. They get to do this for free. All right. So it builds brand awareness. That's why social media advertising is key. It also helps send traffic where you want it to go. So people can come to your social media platform and you can direct them to your website or to a physical store or whatever it is you want them to do. Maybe you want to try to direct them, if you have an Instagram, you want to direct them over to your YouTube or your TikTok. So you want to push them to another platform or what have you. But it's a way to get traffic to go to your website or other locations that you want them to go to. Now, additionally, it increases engagement. So if you have a social media account, you want to get people to like, you want to get people to comment. You want them to keep viewing your content. So you want to do things that engage them, which could be various things. You could have a challenge that you do, or you may put out a poll and ask them to select, vote on your poll, or you may ask them questions. So like on Instagram, you can put up a question box and have them to ask questions so you can then turn around and answer their questions. So you're getting them to engage with the account. And as a part of engagement, you are creating conversations. You're increasing that interaction between you and your potential customer or your audience member or your target person, the avatar that you create to say, this is the ideal person for my business, to be my consumer, to be my customer. So it gives you that opportunity for conversation. Also, you can use social media if you're trying to, let's say, I know one girl who is all about fitness. And so she created an app for fitness, and it's for plus size individuals. And so she makes several posts to talk about her app. So social media can be used to encourage people to install your app for whatever content it is that your business or your organization is promoting. And as I've been saying, it expands your reach to your potential customers. Your goal is to target your potential customer. And in doing so, when they like your post, when they share your post, it actually allows that audience growth because they're sharing your information. And so it's potential for you to grow your target audience. And as I mentioned before, because social media is free, it's cost effective. It is $0 to your budget unless you're doing some type of production, which sometimes some of the posts that you see, the reels and things like that on social media can be a bit involved. So there may be some cost as far as your setup or things of that nature is concerned. But for the most part, if you just click on the go live button or create a reel button, you can sit there and talk and do whatever you're doing, and it's free. So it's very cost effective. Now, one of the great things about these platforms is that they have created insights and data collection for you if you set up a business account or a creator account for some of them. And it allows you to see the traffic and how your post and your reels and your stories and all of those things perform, so you know what people are interested in, and you can just collect all sorts of information. So that is, some of the advantages of using social media advertising. Now that we know what social media is, what social media advertising is, and what it does, let's talk about who actually uses social media advertising. Of course, businesses are using social media advertising, and it started with them using it in the traditional sense of advertising, creating ads that you would see on TV. But of course, now it's evolved into something a little bit more sophisticated, and I want to say something that's more user friendly, something that is more lifestyle oriented. Now you see micro influencers actually doing ads for various brands. You might say, what is a micro influencer? It is an everyday person who has decided to become a creator on their chosen platform, and they're using their things that they like to do, things that they would normally purchase and buy in their day-to-day life, and they're showcasing it in a normal type of environment. They show themselves using it, their family using it, or they do something where they're engaging with a brand or something of that nature in a very natural form. And then you may see in the caption where they have hashtag ad, or they'll say something about a collaboration. And this is influencing. So companies have transitioned to using micro influencers rather than taking these big, large ad budgets and creating a commercial, so to say. They now pay micro influencers to promote their products, their brand to their own audiences. And what companies do is they choose micro influencers that have the target audience that the company or the brand actually desires to have, and they take advantage of that micro influencer having a large number of people who actually follow, friend, or engage with their content. So businesses are moving towards using the micro influencers, or they have done it already. And then also businesses are doing challenges and contests and various things to engage their target market. So they're not necessarily doing a commercial. They may put something like a post out that captures the attention of their target market. And then they do things like say, hey, join our challenge to get your name into a drawing or whatever it is that they're doing, so that they have the person coming back to their page to constantly visit, to check up on things, and also just to check out for future things that are going to be promoted and various things. So they get them to come to their page constantly to check. And so they're doing, and then they're dropping little ads and different posts that will promote a product or a service that that particular brand offers. So that's another way that a business uses is social media advertising. And then they have call to actions like sign up for our email list, check out our newsletter, go over to our YouTube page, or whatever it is that the business wants them to do. They actually put a call to action. So that creates further engagement, that creates audience attachment. It also allows them to collect information from their audience. And so those are the various ways that a business will use social media advertising. Now, not only are businesses using social media advertising, but organizations are doing so as well. They're not necessarily using it for revenue, to make any money or anything like that, but they want to use it so that they can do just like the business and reach their target audience, to inform them about their cause, to bring awareness to a certain situation or a community service project, or to educate. So they like to give out information that would, for social causes, for illnesses, for a lot of times you'll see mental health. So there's a lot of different organizations who are now bringing awareness to their organization by using social media advertising. And what's become very popular now are coaches, influencers, teachers, and people who want to um, teach an audience of people on a specific content. It could be a coach to teach you how to use email marketing. It could be a coach who wants to, show you how to do investments and different things of that nature. So they want to educate, they want to grow their audience. Maybe they want to bring you over to their website or get you into their class, or a variety of things. But one of the main things that they're trying to do is use social media advertising to make money. So that is another way in which social media advertising is being used. So now that you've learned a bit about social media advertising, let's discuss some of the advantages of social media advertising. Some of the advantages we've already talked about. Now, it allows the brand to stay in contact with their target audience. It also gives them an opportunity to share news, current events, and information. It's a platform that can be used to create your own personal brand, and you can do it for free. And it also allows you to do some business and marketing opportunities with the audience that is viewing your information. It's very convenient and it's very easy to use. So once you start using social media, I mean, there may be a learning curve just depending on what age group you're with. But once you start using it, it is a very easy platform to use, and you can access it from wherever you are as long as you have an internet connection or data on your device. So it also fosters innovation and learning because you tend to get a little bit more creative with different things on how you want to engage your audience, and while you're teaching them about your brand or whatever it is that you're offering. It's also is another way to provide entertainment, because a lot of people who are using social media tend to get a little bit creative. Now, some people go a little bit, too far with skits, but however, you can develop a short skit, or maybe even just maybe not even do a skit, but put something together where you can engage your audience. So there's a little bit of a entertainment element, especially when you're using the popular sounds, the popular audios and things of that nature. It allows you to entertain your audience. It also is a platform that is about societal change. So, of course, you have to keep up with the trends, and you have to keep up what's going on current day to remain relevant. And then it also promotes skill development. So you can use the platform to help others learn about different skills, about different ways to do things. So a lot of times I happen to have things that come into my particular timeline about recipes and different things like that, and especially like vegan, because I've been looking at a lot of different vegan options. And so it's an opportunity for me to learn how to make certain vegan dishes. So it definitely helps develop your skill in certain areas. And then it supplements education for when a brand is really trying to teach their audience to do something. So those are some of the advantages of using social media advertising. Now, with anything, if you have advantages, there are more than likely going to be some disadvantages as well. And with social media, there are disadvantages because social media can be very addicting. It creates a distraction and a loss of productivity sometimes. So when you think about social media advertising, you got to do things that are going to help keep your audience on the platform and keep them engaged with your particular product or your brand. Sometimes, because there's misinformation that can be spread, you have to be mindful on how you educate your audience, and how you get your information to them, because you don't want to become a part of that misinformation that is being put out there into the audience or into the platform. A lot of people look at social media as compromising their privacy and their data vulnerabilities. So some people may be a little bit leery about social media. So you have to keep that in mind when you're looking to reach out to your target market. And then sometimes people can feel like you're not really connecting to them, that you're really just trying to sell something. So, you can get some of that backlash from your audience. So you definitely have to remain relevant and do things that are authentic and engaging with your audience. There are so many other disadvantages that are listed here: fraud, obsession with self-presentation, promoting social isolation, because people really get connected to their phones, and they forget how to engage with people in person. So if you're a brand and you're engaging with your audience on social media, maybe think about having events that are outside, or that get people to step away from the phone and get connected in person. So those are just some things that you can think about. To recap, we talked about what social media is, what social media advertising is, who uses social media advertising, why it's important, and some disadvantages and advantages of social media advertising. Next week, we will discuss mobile advertising. So come on back for the last episode in this series about forms of media for advertising. I do thank you for joining me at Marketing Adventure with Jackie, and I hope you have a wonderfully blessed day. Thanks for listening to Marketing Adventure. Remember to subscribe, rate, review, and share this episode with someone you think would benefit from the information shared here today. If you have any questions or want to connect with me, Find me on Instagram at Marketing Adventure. All links and resources discussed in this episode can be found in the show notes at marketingadventure.com.